guys. Excited to be with you again this weekend. What I want to look at today is the Word and its role in our lives and what place we give it in our lives. You know, God has given us these ways of getting to know Him and understand Him more. Prayer, fellowship, worship, fasting, things like that. And one of the foundational things on which all those other things lie is the Word. God has given us a tangible way to know and understand and hear Him. And too often, we all just shove it off to the side. Too often we let other things take its place because it's here. We have tangible things to turn in at college. We have tangible things that people need to see from us, that we need to produce. But we shove this off to the side. We place it somewhere else. And I think we do a disservice to what God seeks to do in our lives and in our hearts and through us in this world when we do that. Guys, this is such a powerful book. These words are much more than just words on a page. They're power. They're truth. And when we are in class at college, when we're interacting with people, guys, there's a world of darkness, a world of deceit, a world of lies that we need to combat. And without this truth, how are we going to do that? Without knowing what God is about, without knowing what God seeks to instill and what God seeks to tell us and show us, how are we going to know? How are we going to combat and refute, that darkness, that evil that is manifesting itself around us without the truth? We think we can do this on our own. We think that we're good. We think that we don't need this, or that we have enough of it, or that we can get by with what we have of it. But this is so important, and we neglect it. We put it off. For what? Guys, this is truth. This is God, the most tangible way that God has given you to know about Him, to know more of Him, that He has the most tangible way He's chosen to reveal Himself to you. And we say, later. What are we doing? What are we doing? Guys, nowhere in this book will you find Jesus, any of the prophets, anybody saying, get into this every single day. Nowhere. Nowhere does it say to read your Bible every day. But when you're not craving this, when you're not desiring more and more, and if you're not provoked to know more and read more and hear more about God and what He wants from you, what His heart for the world, His heart for you, if you're not desiring that, if you're not pushing yourself to that, if you're not gravitating to that, red flags start to go up. And I hope that you begin to evaluate why you are not provoked to know more, why you aren't gravitating to this power, why you aren't desiring more truth in this world of lies. It's time to look at your relationship. It's time to look at why you don't want this, why it's over on your shelf collecting dust when you're on Facebook, when you're doing a bunch of random other stuff that makes no sense, that has no value. Why aren't you investing in truth? Look at that. Ask yourself that. Guys, if you're not craving this, then I hope you recognize the red flags. I hope you see them, or I hope someone's revealing them to you and you hear them. Guys, the Word is power. And if we neglect that power, we neglect it all. God's given you this. Get into it. Dig into it so that you might know and so that you might tell this world what He's about. So that you might live out truth, that you might live out the Word that came to be flesh. Guys, we can talk about going out into this world and sharing Jesus and building the kingdom all we want. But without the Word, without this truth, we've got nothing to share. We've got nothing to give them. Do you recognize your need for it in your life? Because if you don't, you're not going to recognize their need for it. I pray you do. I pray you invest in truth. I pray you invest in the power that is the Bible, and that you allow the Word to change your heart, to move you into a greater desire, a greater heart for Jesus and for what He seeks to do in this world. I pray that for you. I ask that you do this. Get into it. Read it. Know it. Study it. Believe it. Because guys, God has a heart for this world and for you. And He's showing it. Do you know it? Guys, get into